Okay. Hi everyone. Now we are going to discuss vSphere storage real-time scenarios. So as part of real-time scenario, one basic point is we need to understand the storage units from lowest to biggest. Normally in our storage units, we have a different types of storage units like byte. In storage representation, we call it as B, and the capacity 1 byte equal to 8 bits. It's normally on average, it's equivalent to one text file. And kilobyte 1 unit, KB in short form we call it as KB, and 1 KB equivalent to 1024 bytes. And similarly megabyte in short form MB 1024 KB. And normally 1 KB is equivalent to, it's a normal 1 page document. If you open one document, save it with a single page document, it's equivalent to 1 KB. If you write any external data and increase the pages, again the size will be increased. And the MB also, it's equivalent to 1024 KB. It's like a normal any image file. One image file on average equivalent to 1 MB. And GB means normally one movie file or any of the ISO file, like our Windows operating system or any ISO file. On average, it's a 1 GB or more than 1 GB. And greater than GB means it's like a terabyte. So terabyte short form TB, it's equivalent to 1024 GB. This 1024 is completely in a binary notation. Okay, 1024 GB. Suppose if it is in a decimal notation means 1000 GB. Okay, either you can use decimal notation or binary notation, anything we can use. And 1 terabyte means it's equivalent to 6 million PDFs, documents, or any of the production application related data. Even the database, if you take the database backup data also, sometimes if you have a huge data, it's equivalent to 1 TB. And after the TB, the equivalent storage units are petabytes. So petabytes means it's equivalent to 1024 terabyte. And after petabyte, exabytes equivalent to 1024 petabytes. So petabytes equivalent is production servers data. If you combine all the production servers data, it's equivalent to petabytes only. And exabyte means it's again larger than the petabyte. It's a 1024 petabyte. It's like a group of organizations data. If you calculate all the group of organization data, it's equivalent to some exabyte. And zettabyte means one country level data, and yottabyte means it's like a one regional level data, and bronto byte, it's a huge size, it's equivalent to 1024 yottabyte. Most of the geolocations means geographical locations data, like APAC region wise data or European region, North America, South America, all the regions, geolocations, if you combine, its equivalent data is like a 1024 etabytes. And geobyte is equivalent to 1024. At present, as per our internet and storage vendors documentation, the maximum storage units it's available from byte to until the geobyte only. And it's almost like if you combine the worldwide data, it's equivalent to in a geobytes only. Okay, but why we are discussing the storage units is, suppose if you are talking about the storage in the real-time scenario, we always talk about how much terabytes of data, how much petabytes. If your company is very large, or if you are working for a number of customers and all, you may talk about exabyte also. So we should have some idea on what is the storage units. When you are talking about big data or any huge amount of data, we need to know about the units information. We commonly used until the MB, GB, and TB also will use. Even on our home PC system also, if your home PC system data, if you want to take the backup, we are taking the all our personal images and documents data to the external hard disk. Hard disk also normally 1 TB, 2 TB, 4 TB, and so on. But same scenario in customers environment or any organization, if your data is keep growing, if you want to maintain your data for, let's say, any government organization, let's say all the government organization also maintain the old data, last 5 years or last 10 years data. If you want to maintain all the 10 years data, we need to maintain some storage devices. So that data will be like a equivalent to huge sizes. During that time, instead of GB and TB, we'll start using the advanced storage units, petabyte, exabyte, zettabytes of data. Okay, even best example is Google. Google is providing the Gmail accounts freely for all the users. Even each Gmail account it supports for maximum 15 GB Google Drive space. N number of accounts means in the backend in the Google servers they maintain a exabytes, zettabytes of data they maintain. Similarly, YouTube also there are plenty of videos are uploading every day. To maintain all the past 1 year or past previous data, archival data, backend they need to maintain a n number of storage. Okay, that storage, how much size? If you want to tell how much size you have in the backend for YouTube, they will tell in the this units only. We have some 1024 petabytes of data or 1024 exabytes of data. I give an example of 1024, but the value we may change, but the units are same. Okay, that is the importance of this slide. Now we'll talk about any one real-time scenario. I just took the example of medical. Nowadays, after the corona, everywhere medical is the more popular these days. So I took the one Google from the Google survey results. There is a, if you see in the below, data from DICOM library packs storage calculator default values. It's already surveyed result only. That survey result I just collected for our easy understanding. Average storage growing level. Suppose normally in a medical hospitals, if you see normal the hospital medical reports in a X-ray format and computed scanning and also magnetic resonance, MRI scan, MG scan, ultrasound scan, and video captures. All these are it's like a typical resolution, sir. This is the average resolution, sir. This is the resolution. Same like our computer screen also have a resolution. Mobile camera also have a some resolutions like 760 megapixels, 1024 like that. Even X-ray use a 2048 pixels resolution. This resolution file size average as per the size study, it's equivalent to 30 MB. So the count duration is, let's say on average every day 4 files. The total equivalent size is 120 MB. If you calculate the X-rays for 1 year annual data for that one hospital, it's equivalent to 2.16 terabytes data. And same way computer scan, computerized tomography scan, CT scan, that size also, if you consider the all one hospital, the annual CT scans data, it's equivalent to 3.6 terabyte. And MRI scan similarly to other scans also. If I put the all the annual file sizes, the equivalent total one hospital data is equivalent to 25 terabyte. It's not our manual calculation, it says as per the survey result. Okay, survey result means it's already proven information. One hospital average 25 terabytes of data per 1 year. Let's say if the hospital starts 10 years ago, 10 years ago means multiply by 10, the particular hospital data equivalent to 250 terabytes of data. So all the 250 terabytes of data, you can imagine they will really buy a fiber channel SAN, the costliest sandbox. Definitely answer is no, because the most whenever the data keep growing, they will not use a high configured fiber channel SAN. High configured fiber channel SAN they recommend to use for a live data and also the critical application purpose only. And if your data is a less critical means suppose this same hospital have a past 10 years data. 10 years ago data means obviously it's a less critical, it's not a critical data. That less critical data not recommend to store on a FCSAN. We can move it to a either public cloud you can move, either you can move private cloud, or you can take the data into a backup. That backup you can copy into a old type of storage boxes like a tape library. You can maintain the tape library or NAS boxes. So that is the scenario I'm trying to explain here. So why we need to learn all this type of storages means depends on our data, customer data. They will segregate. Let's say the most important data they will keep in FCSAN. Less critical, medium range of data they will keep in iSCSI, and the very less critical means they will move it to a tape drives or they will move it to a NAS storage. But as a vSphere administrator, we have to learn all the concepts. Okay. And for the today's concept virtual volumes, vSphere virtual volume is an industry-wide creativity. So as I mentioned, in our vSphere component, virtual volume components, one of the component is VASA provider. VASA means vendor provider. We call it as vendor provider or VASA provider. This provider is a one of the virtual appliance only. Here I am giving you some examples. Hewlett Packard Enterprise is one of the vendor. This HPE company also providing a VVOLs VASA provider appliance, but that is a licensed software. Excuse me. And Hitachi also one of the storage vendor. They will also providing a VASA software similarly to Dell, EMC Square, IBM, and Nimble. Nimble previously it was a separate organization, but recently HP acquired the Nimble Storage company. So now Nimble is part of the HP organization. And Solid Fire, Fujitsu, Pure Storage, NEC, NetApp. These are all the most popular storage vendor. They are releasing a storage VASA provider software specifically for virtual volumes. Okay, the most popular one I highlighted here, not limited to this one, and many more. Okay, and this information where we can find what are all the vendors releasing the storage supported virtual volume softwares are, we can find it from a VMware website. Suppose let log in to our lab system. Let me open a browser and type in the Google virtual volumes. Let's say VMware VVOLs compatibility. If you type the compatibility matrix, you will find directly VMware compatibility search. See VMware compatibility guide search. When you click the VMware compatibility search, you will see here by default, whatever we search the option, it's already searched. Suppose even if you didn't find in the drop down menu, you can see virtual value options. VMware vSphere API application program interface for virtual volumes. Okay. See how many products it supported. VVOL supported from old version ESX 6.0 to until the latest version ESX 7 update 3 until this version, this V volume is supported. Even this is also one of the interview question. They will ask when the VVOL support is started. It started from ESX 6.0. The previous below before 6.0 there is no VVOL concept. Okay, so it's a newly developed storage architecture. Okay, and the partner name, what are all the vendors is providing. So in our slide I just highlighted only few customers, but if you see in the compatibility guide search, see there are plenty of storage vendors are available. Okay, only the most popular one I highlighted in our slide. For example, within the partner, if I select any vendor also you can select like a Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And how about the array type, storage array types? How many types of storage arrays we have? We have a FCOE, fiber channel over Ethernet, fiber channel SAN, iSCSI, NAS, and the software virtual device also we have. Okay, and VASA provider. This is the point we are going to discuss. VASA provider means each vendor have their separate VASA provider. See, there are so many virtual appliances are available. So based on your customer storage, you can download the specific VASA provider appliance. Okay. For example, I am selecting a HPE. You will find a VASA provider related to HPE here. Okay, and features also, see this feature is nothing but a capabilities. That storage container, what is the capabilities it have? All the, see we discussed about VASA provider high availability and also replication. These all nothing but a virtual volume storage container features. And models also, what is that storage model? That model information you will find here. Okay, for example, I'm just highlighting Hewlett Packard Enterprise. See, for this HPE array types, it support all features also commonly it support for all. And VASA provider is, see, these are all the software names. 3PAR, one of the HPE VASA provider software name, HPE Alletra, HPE Primera, HPE XP, Experience Storage Provider for VMware vCenter, and Nimble Storage. These are all the softwares HPE is providing. Okay. Similarly, if I select the Fujitsu, see, Fujitsu is providing the Eternus VASA provider. Okay. Similarly, if I select a Dell EMC, see Dell EMC is providing a Dell EMC VASA provider, PowerMax, EMC Unity, VMax. These all the providing. Similarly, if you want to explore, you can explore for the other vendors also. So I'm just highlighted HPE. For HPE array models also, you can find array models. Array models AF means all flash. All flash means it's a advanced flash drive. It's the storage provisioning performance, everything is very fast. Okay, all flash models are available from the HPE vendor. See, there are so many storage models. Why we have this many models means depends on our budget. We can choose the specific model. Same like our laptop. Suppose today we are planning to buy one home personal laptop. While buying a laptop, if you attend for any computer store, there will be so many vendors are available. There will be a HP laptop, Dell, IBM, Lenovo laptop, Asus. So many vendors are available. But how we can choose the laptop is we should be stick with our multiple options. Either you can stick with your budget or you can stick with your configuration. Let's say if you want to practice VMware lab on your home laptop. Normally laptop and desktop maximum supported memory is 32 GB. So obviously you will look for a 32 GB supported laptop or 32 GB supported desktop PC. Accordingly, you will pick the your server home PC. Similarly, in our real-time scenario also, while choosing the storage also, our customer will give you the requirement. Their requirement will be in a feature perspective. They will give you in a feature perspective, or they will give you a past data. Let's say I have a old data 250 terabyte, which storage you will prefer. So based on the first, we need to gather the requirements from the customer. Depends on the requirement, our vSphere administrator, storage administrator, and our company solution architect, all the team members will sit together and discuss and do some brainstorming and finalize one storage model. Okay, that is the way in the real time we can finalize the storage models. But first thing is we need to choose the which vendor we are going with. Or else some companies how they do is if the storage cost is very high, they will provide a tender notification. So companies itself they will come to the tender, they will they will accept the tender. They will provide their budget quotation. Same like our laptop, how they will provide the quotation for laptop price. Same way in the tender, all the vendors they will provide a quotation what the pricing for their model. Finally, customer will review all the quotation based on their budget. They will pick one vendor is the best option. Okay, that's how the real-time scenario will choose the storage models. Suppose the HPE, when we have this model, if you want to export this information, just click on update view result. You will find all the results information. We have 2 pages. Let's display change to 500. See, these are all the HPE supported storage model and also the VASA provider version information. You can download VASA provider from here. So as I mentioned, VASA provider is nothing but it's a kind of software appliance only. Okay, you can download from here and you can do your virtual volume test. And this VASA provider is not only for virtual volume, it will also support for NFS protocol, iSCSI, fiber channel protocols also. But most probably we'll use this VASA softwares for a NFS and iSCSI, and we can also use for a virtual volume configurations. Okay, if you want to export this report also, we have option to export to Excel sheet. Okay, later if you want to explore, you can just explore for other vendors also. Okay, let's go back to our slide. So that is information I highlighted. What is the most popular virtual volume supported vendors? Not limited to this, we have so many vendors. And let's understand the description. Virtual volumes is an industry-wide initiative that will allow customers to leverage the unique capabilities of their current storage investments and transition without a disruption to a simpler and more efficient operational model optimized for virtual environment that works across all storage types. So all storage types means in our diagram, see the storage types recommend to this one, FC, iSCSI, NAS. All storage types we can use. And major storage vendors participated in the design of virtual volumes, and many more will support initiative driving value with their unique implementation. So everyone have their unique storage provider software. Even if you see here, see, so for example, XP model is have a provider version is 3.5. If you see the other model 3 per, this version is 2.2. So they have their unique VASA provider implementations. Okay, and even this implementation process also, every vendor they will provide the VASA provider implementation guide and installation steps. We can just get the document from the official website, follow the documentation. Similarly, you can implement for other vendor virtual volumes as well. Okay, now I'm trying to explain some specific which HPE related storage volumes. for our easy understanding. Let's say virtual volume support on HPE storage platforms. I took the three examples. Not only these three, we have so many HPE model. I just took the three models. HPE 3PAR, most popular for virtual volume support, and Nimble Storage, and also XP7, XP8. 8 is the latest version. Similarly, within the 3PAR also, we have a supported arrays 7000, 8000. This is the series of models. Okay, the latest model is 20,000 series. And VASA provider is internal. Internal means it's supported only for the 3PAR storage. This software won't support for other vendors. Okay, and the scale. If I use 3PAR storage, what is the capacity of this software? It will support maximum 3000 virtual machine, and we can able to create a 20,000 maximum limit of virtual volumes. Okay, and multiple vCenter support, yes, it's supported, and multiple storage container support, it's supported, and capabilities, we know there is a some features, all the features it's supported. Okay, and similarly to Nimble also I mentioned here how many virtual volumes it support, and default same like a 3PAR, and similarly to XP7 and XP8. But XP7 one additional feature is it will support for external also, because this storage capacity is very huge, and even the cost for the XP storage is very high cost. Normally we use this XP storage for a big data and large any of the large scale environment will recommend to go for a XP8. For medium scale and small scale industries, they will go for a 3PAR and Nimble storage. Okay. Now, HP storage placement, how we can choose the models just now we discussed, right? I'm giving you some more elaboration. See, this is one of the storage model. The industry broadest and deepest flash portfolio, flash solutions for smallest to our most extreme customers. So I'm just giving you the from smallest to large. So MSCI is the storage model name. It's mainly very popular and affordable array for traditional deployments and in smaller site. If your organization is small, you can go for a HPE MSCI storage. Similarly for other vendors also. Okay, I'm giving the example of one vendor. And the SimpliVity, this is also storage box model. This HPE SimpliVity also, it's mainly for enterprise hyper converged infrastructure. On our previous session, we'll discuss about the SDDC concept and HCI concept. If your environment is in a HCI environment, the best suitable HCI storage box is SimpliVity, HPE SimpliVity. It's ideal for 100% virtualized environment in the data center and on remote sites. Remote site means any of the branch site or disaster recovery site also you can use for HCE environment, you can use HPE SimpliVity. And similarly, there is a direct disaggregated DHCI, or there are some situation non-HCI products. Even if your environment non-HCI scenario, instead of a SimpliVity, there is a recommendation from HPE is you will go for a Nimble storage. So it's completely depends on our requirement and the data size. We'll choose the appropriated storage box model. So this is one of the model Nimble storage. This mainly for it's ideal for mixed legacy and virtualized environment, as the storage can be shared with non-HCI applications and servers. Okay. And another one is 3PAR storage serve. This is also for tier 1 features. It's combined mainly high performance and high availability. And there is another model is Primera storage. Primera also same, but one importance of a Primera storage is HP is providing 100% high availability guarantee with this model, Primera storage model. Okay, and the largest one is XP8. See, I mentioned as extremely scalable system for HA, high availability, and the requirements including mainframe support. Even IBM mainframes also you can use this storage. And also same like during our ESXi host installation and vCenter installation, we verified the hardware compatibility list. Same way for storage also, when you are going to procure a storage, we need to verify whether our ESXi host virtualized environments are compatible for our storage model. If you see in this slide, the last one is refers mainly for it is also support for mainframe support. Not only mainframe, you can use for a extremely scalable. Extremely scalable means very huge number of data. If you have in your organization, you go for a high level storage box. Okay, instead of smallest. So this is what I'm trying to say. Smallest model, what is the model, and largest one, what is the current available models in HPE. Okay. Now HPE, another there is another special category of storage that is called composable storage. So let's try to explain from this diagram. Suppose if you see the first diagram, we have a one rack. This is the how the server's rack is looks like. Within the rack, we see we have a 4 ESXi hosts: ESX1, ESX2, ESX3, and ESX4. All these four are a rack mount server, and we have a physically 4 rack mount servers. To connect these servers, we require a LAN cables, LAN cable and switches. So on the top of the rack we have a 3 switches: switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. This 3 switch, there is a multiple ports. All the ports we can connect it to ESXi host 1, ESXi host 2, 3, 4. We can use these switches. And similarly, if you want to store your ESXi host virtual machines data, all the virtual machine, if you want to store, we require a storage. So in the below, we have a 2 storage containers. But in the real-time scenario, if you want to purchase this 3 options, let's say that let's talk about first rack. The servers we can purchase from any vendor like HPE server, and you can purchase Dell server, IBM server, Fujitsu server, any model you can purchase. But to connect all your servers, we need a switches. Even switches also, network devices also, we have so many vendors like Cisco is the most popular network vendor, and HPE Aruba also one of the most popular vendor. There is some other external vendors also available. So you can buy a network from one vendor, store a host, ESX host from one vendor, and storage from other vendor. But instead of buying from 3 vendor, if you want to save your cost, and also if you want to do some automation and some intelligence on the 3 vendors, there is another concept called composable storage. Like how we can compose the music using a multiple instruments, we can compose one music. Same way, you can take multiple components, infrastructure components, network, server, and storage. You can make one rack. But the HPE itself, instead of approaching a multiple vendors, within the HPE, there is a concept called composable infrastructure. When you see the composable infrastructure, within one rack, they will come up with compute, network, and storage. Compute means they are using a high level standards servers, that is HPE Synergy. Synergy is the model name. This is the how is the Synergy blade server looks like. Synergy blade is like it's a better blade server. It have number of blades. Suppose in this one Synergy frame, how many blades? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here above 6 and below 6, 6 plus 6, 12 blade servers in this Synergy frame. This entire one block is called as one Synergy frame, and below is one Synergy frame. So that means totally how many servers we can cover? We can cover 24 ESXi hosts we can cover. Suppose the same 24 ESX hosts, if I want to keep in one rack, there is no enough space. So the better one is, instead of going for a rack mount server, if your company is going to use n number of ESXi hosts, the best option is you can buy a blade server instead of buying a rack mount server. That is the use case for the blade server. And also, instead of going for a network device, separate third party Cisco network and the third party storage, other storage, EMC or NetApp, even the HPE, when you approach the HPE vendor, they will itself provide a composable infrastructure for both the server, and even this Synergy which comes with a network devices, it comes with a storage also. This storage we have a 2 options. Within HPE Synergy, you can use Nimble storage combination, or within HPE Synergy, you can buy along with 3-part storage option. This 3-part storage is looks like this. The same one I highlighted in the previous diagram. 3-part storage looks like this. Nimble storage looks like this. Okay, the same point I highlighted here. One rack is with a HP Synergy frames along with 3-part storage, and another rack HP Synergy frame along with Nimble storage. But how the customer chooses, it depends on the customer requirement and budget. Okay, so all these points I highlighted in the left side description. We have customers who simply don't want to think about a dedicated storage for certain projects. Let's say some projects there is no dedicated storage, they can use any of the storages, and that is one scenario. Another one, SimpliVity has a great storage stack for those hyper converged for HCI, hyper converged environments, or HCI, hyper converged infrastructure. Even this point I covered in the previous slide. SimpliVity mainly for HCI. So this is also one scenario. And along the same HCI design, consideration based on a need to buy compute, network, and storage together, standalone components. See, these 3 we need to buy Standalone means individually we need to buy these three components. But during this scenario, one of the best use cases, you can buy a HPE Composable Infrastructure. See, HPE also distribute composable infrastructure that includes Synergy platform. That means this is the Synergy Frame 1, Frame 2. Synergy platform with the choice of either 3-par storage. 3-par means this is the 3-par storage, and Nimble means Nimble storage arrays. So it's a, when you ask the customer, if you show these three options, definitely instead of going for three vendors, they will choose one vendor, and the storage it will be depends on their requirement. So they will go for a one rack. So when you order from the HPE, they will send all the entire stack at one shot. Okay. This is also one of the important composable infrastructure component concept. And now in the real-time scenario, we'll observe how the virtual volumes workflow. This workflow is like a, let's say I took the example of one of the vendor, Unisphere. So Unisphere is the software name. From this VASA provider, how we can create is first create a storage pool. Storage pool is nothing but a storage container. We can create storage container first, and after creation of storage container, we can configure a capability profile. So obviously we have a profiles we need to configure. And once we configure a profile like gold, bronze, silver, and add the VMware ESXi host to our storage level, also we need to provide the access. So add the VMware host to storage level and create an iSCSI interface if not using fiber channel. Suppose if you are not using fiber channel, that scenario you can configure iSCSI also, and create a block virtual volume data store. In our software level, whenever you create a data store, it's call it as VVOL data store, or another name is storage container. And when we assign this data store, now you can just inform to vSphere admin. vSphere admin can log into vCenter, and he will add a iSCSI target if you are not using fiber channel, and add the system as a VASA storage provider. He need to add these appliances, whatever the appliance we are using, that VASA appliance we need to add in a vCenter level. Earlier I shown you from the vCenter console tab, from the plugins tab, we need to add this VASA provider plugin. Once we add the VASA provider plugin and mount the vVolume data store to ESXi host. So how we can add the ESXi host? Just go to the data store tab, create data store, and you can choose the data store type is vVol. When we create the virtual volume data store itself, there is a virtual machine storage policies. So you can choose the policy, relevant policies. There is a default policies available. You can use either default policy or you can create a customized policies as well, and provision the virtual machine and assign storage policies. See here I mentioned storage policies multiple, but this multiple policy option available only in a software defined storage. This option not available in a traditional storage. Okay, and select the compatible storage option and you can provision a virtual volume. So this is the real-time scenario how we can configure the virtual volume workflow. Okay. And now we are going to talk about how to create a data store, which type of storage we are using and all. And how about my past data security? Suppose my last 3 months data or last 1 year data or past 10 years data, if you want to secure your old data, we require some backup software. Now I am trying to show you what are all the supported backup software for virtual volume data store. See, the question here is what backup software vendors support virtual volumes? Even again, in this slide also, it's not limited to only this 11. There are plenty of backup software. I'm just giving some examples here. Okay, suppose I given the total 11 backup software names. If I see the vendor name, Veritas is the one of the vendor name, company name. This vendor is providing a two types of backups: backup EXEC and net backup. And also I given the supported VVOL version. Later you can just go through this versions information, and these versions also, see, always check with our backup vendor for the latest details on versions and support. All these versions may be changed, but I just given a supported vVol versions only I mentioned here. Okay, and Veritas 2 backup softwares, and IBM also have Tivoli Storage Manager. This will support the latest until 7.1 series only, and later they rename the Tivoli Storage Manager name to Spectrum Protect Plus. This is the latest version of IBM backup tool name, and Commvault is the company name, and their product name also Commvault. And Veeam also one of the popular company is, this is mainly dedicated for vSphere virtual platform backups. and the Quest, vRanger, CA Technologies, ArcServe is the backup tool name, and Unitrends Enterprise Backup. Nakivo is the one of the company name. It will also provide the backup software. Its name is Nakivo Backup and Replication. Micro Focus VM Explore Data Protector. So I given the product name and example. At least you can remember one or two backup software, because some of the if you are attending VCP or any interview scenario, they will ask what is a backup vendor supported for VVOL. At least you can mention two or three models. Okay, like Commvault, Net Backup, and Spectrum Protect Plus. Three models you can remember. Okay, and the right side, see, I just given a high level diagram for our vVOL architecture. As we know, this is a vSphere view, vVOL data store, and the main connectivity is, what is the data path connectivity is using protocol and endpoint. It is similar like LAN. And the storage container, we have a storage array. On top of storage array, we create multiple VLAN. But how we can manage this all is, the main intelligence is VASA provider. Using this appliance only, we can create the virtual volume, and we can provide the we can establish the communication between vSphere and storage container. Okay. And to take the backup, we can just connect to the VASA provider using a backup server and take all your virtual machine backup to your respective backup product name. And I given the example here. See, the VMs are already backed up into the backup server. The purpose of backup is, if you want to restore your any virtual machine suddenly down, if you want to restore, we should know what are all the backup software you're using in our environment. Log into your backup server and restore the affected virtual machine. Okay. This is one of the important point. Next point, replication with virtual volumes. Replication also one of the storage array capability feature. Earlier we have a multiple features we discussed. One of the key feature is replication. This replication main importance is, its importance mainly for site wise. Here if you see in the diagram in the below, I mention as site 1 and site 2. Site 1, site 2 means, let's say within the Hyderabad location, I have one site in Uppal branch. Uppal is the location name. Uppal branch, I have one site. And the second site is, I have second site is in a high-tech city. So high-tech city, I have a second site. The purpose of replication is, here I have one storage array. This storage array consists of multiple virtual volumes. This virtual volume means DB1 VM have one volume, and other data VM, swap VM, multiple virtual volumes are created in a storage container. And this storage container is connected to the ESXi host. Storage container connected to ESXi host. On top of ESX, we have a production virtual machine. Suppose all of the sudden my site one Uppal site is down. What is the impact to my production? There is a definitely your company websites, all your data unable to access. There is a huge impact to your business. To avoid that situation, every company, to secure their primary site, they maintain always a secondary site. So secondary site is nothing but a site 2. So this site 2, how they will replicate data is, instead of using a backup and a daily restore here, they will always maintain a array based replication option. When they enable this feature, this replication feature is mainly to replicate in a storage array level, but the condition is, the data will be replicated through wide area network. Our network speed minimally we should have 10 Gbps speed or more than 10 Gbps speed. Based on the speed, it will replicate all your site 1 data to secondary site. Even virtual volume will support it for replication feature. So the benefit of only the, if you maintain a secondary site, in case of all of the sudden your entire site down, no impact your business, your all the production VMs, business websites and all we can access from second site. That is the purpose of replication feature. Okay, suppose in our not only storage array level replication, I want to maintain VM level replication. During that scenario, VMware given a one of the product name called VMware SRM, Site Recovery Manager. Either you can use Site Recovery Manager, or based on your storage vendor, also you can enable a array level replication. Like HP, if you are using HP 3-part storage, in a HP 3-part storage level, you can enable the replication feature. It will automatically replicate your data to nearby site storage container. Okay, this is also one of the key feature in virtual volumes. These features are already available in our traditional storage. The same traditional storage features available in our software defined storage also. Okay, so this is the one additional feature. Now let's talk about the virtual volume home lab. In our home lab, if you want to do the virtual virtual volumes home lab. As we discussed, we require a VASA provider software, but there are so many vendors VASA provider, but all are like a, it's a completely platform dependent. Like if you are buying a 3-part storage, the VASA provider will support only for 3-part storage only. You want to test in the home lab, it won't support. So that's the reason I just Googled it. What is the home lab supported software? I found two softwares. One is NetApp OnTap Simulator. You can download from this link. This is the direct NetApp website. From the this they clearly says that it is a simulator only. Simulator means it's not like official production software. You can use this one as like a similar to office environment. You can provision one virtual appliances and do the test lab how to configure vVols in our vSphere environment. This is one method we can use, and another method is EMC. Dell nowadays EMC Square also acquired by Dell company. It's a Dell EMC Unity VSA. VSA means virtual storage appliance. This appliance software also you can get a trial version. You can find from a is this site. And normally this both appliances default username is admin, and NetApp OnTap Simulator it will work without password. You can just use blank password, press enter. VASA configuration is pretty simple, and the documentation and all you can find from the this website link. I will share these links. Using this link you will find the installation instructions. All the instructions you can follow from the vendor documentation, because this vendor documentation, each simulator have a some different procedure, and EMC Unity have a different procedure. And for EMC Unity default password is this is the password. Okay, so you can try this to any one of the simulator in your home lab. Okay, or else I will show you in our next session how to configure OnTap simulator download. Suppose not only, even if you want to see the simulator guides and all, suppose HPE, if you want to verify the HPE one, VVOL VMware Nimble Storage implement. Let's say Nimble Storage implementation guide. If you type in the Google, you will find the official links, or in either a community link or for example, I'm directly choosing the HPE link. Same way you can find the installation instruction document for other vendors also. See here the VMware vSphere virtual volume HPE Nimble Storage implementation guide. Let me download. In the meantime, let's scroll down. Okay, PDF is downloaded. So if you see in this document, it's a 40 pages document. They clearly give the instruction. But similarly, all the appliance vendors, they have a inbuilt installation instruction guides. As per the guide only, we'll configure in the office environment. Suppose in this implementation, see they explained about all the virtual volume nodes and the solution overview. Suppose, for example, if you notice this one in our vSphere environment, how they configure the Nimble storage. If you see here, the Nimble storage all flash 1000 model here, converged storage, it's a 3000 model. Both one replication is using a 10 GB Ethernet speed. Okay, this is the replication speed they are configured. And to connect the sandbox, we need a fiber channel switches. See, you can see 16 GB fiber channel SAN A, fiber channel SAN B. That means they are using a two switches. Why we are using two switches is for multipathing. So from the storage A connected to here, storage processor B, we connected to SAN switch B. From here, they connected to 4 ESX hosts. Even if you see the ESX host model, HPE Proliant DL density line 380 generation 10 servers, 4 models. And here also 4 models, second site also. And from here, 1 GB management port, it's connected to vCenter server primary site. Even replicated site also vCenter 1 GB. Same setup we'll maintain in a secondary site. The benefit is when our primary site is down, still our production will run from a secondary site, or we call it as a replicated site. Okay, so how they configured and all, they will explain in this guide. Step by step, they will give the instruction how to configure the VASA and all. So even see the compatibility information also they given here. Let me scroll down the configuration informations like a profile. See how they configure profile on a Nimble storage level. Okay, later the storage level edition we know. Just to create new data store for virtual volume, we can choose vVOL option. When we choose the vVOL, see it's detected automatically Nimble vVOL. But today's lab I'm unable to show because we haven't configured the VASA provider yet. Okay, so when you configure VASA provider, it will detect automatically the existing VASA provider like this. See how much the size they configured, 62 terabyte they configured. Once they configure, see while adding itself, they are adding to vCenter level means we can directly add to all ESX host at one shot. Okay, when we select all ESX host, see the name and it's also have a unique identification ID and primary it's all added. Just click finish. When you click finish, it will configure the virtual volume, and the replication also we can configure directly on a Nimble storage array level itself. They given the instruction, go to the manage data protection, there is a replication partner. So like this we can do the replication also. So the replication steps also they given from store VASA provider store VASA appliance console is looks like this. Okay, there is a volume collection, production templates and all, but most of the real-time scenario, this storage portion is taken care by our storage administrators. But as a vSphere administrator, if you have some basic knowledge, it will be more than enough. But if you're interested, you can just explore this VASA implementation guide for more knowledge. Okay, and here you can see the multiple policy configuration rule set. Rule set is nothing but a see, new storage profiles we can configure like gold, bronze, silver. Okay, we observe the three profile example. Similarly, we can configure n number of storage profiles in software defined storage. Like virtual SAN also you can configure storage profile, and virtual volumes also you can configure a storage profiles. Okay, see after addition, you can see there are multiple volumes are created, virtual volume with different sizes. Okay, so this is about the uh, virtual volume concept. In our next session, you can try your home lab using any of the simulator. If you want me to show also, I can show you any. I will pick any one appliances and I will show you in the next session. So that's it for today. Today we focused mainly on the complete storage concepts and also the real-time what are all the main models we used for organizations, and we discussed about the storage concepts also in detail. If you have any questions, let me know. If no questions, we can end the session here. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now.